Good morning, dear students. Myself, Professor Sapna Sharma from Modern College Business Administrative Campus, BBA Department. So, student, welcome back for this Artificial Intelligence course once again. So, as per our last session, I was discussing about the type of machine learning algorithm that we are having currently. We have already covered two of them. One is supervised learning and the second one is unsupervised learning. So before moving to the third type of machine learning algorithm, let's make a quick revision about the last two type of machine learning algorithm that we have covered already. The very first one I was talking about, that is the supervised learning. What is the supervised learning into the machine learning algorithms basically? As I have already told you people, like when we talk about the machine learning, so machine learning is providing a kind of ability to just learn from our past experiences, and then we try to make our decisions, we try to implement our decisions. Because what machine learning tells, that whatever we people learn, if we implement the same thing with few types of innovation, some type of updating inside it, we can make a best decision out of it. This is what the machine learning tells. Our biggest friend is our experience only. So we are implementing the same concept, but we are implementing it with the help of the different algorithms. So the very first algorithm I was talking about, the supervised learning, where I have already mentioned you people that for machine learning we have to provide abundant of data. So in supervised learning, what we people do, we provide abundant of data, but that abundant of data is it is labeled data. Means we already have a thorough knowledge about what is this data. We get a filtered data, we get a bifurcated data. So we don't have to do that much type of that much level of hard working basically. So it is very much easy for us to implement this supervised learning. As the name itself suggests, right? Supervise means what? I am keeping an eye watch onto someone and I know what that person is doing and what is my job, right? I know each and everything. So it is very much easy for us to implement it. So in supervised learning, the model, okay, any machine learning, any model, any artificial intelligence model would be fed with a lot of labeled data, a lot of known data. Now that labeled data would be stored inside one of the basically database, and whenever any kind of new data comes, so we will try to map up the things. We try to form a relationship basically. Okay, and then we take the decisions. So it is quite easy for us to do the things. And the second important thing is we can generate a very appropriate decisions. We can generate appropriate decision, precise decisions. But I already mentioned you into my last session, there is an issue with this also. If you use supervised learning algorithm into your application, into your artificial intelligence application, so it is suitable for only one particular task at a single instant of time. Only single tasks at single time. You cannot perform multiple tasks. Reason is what? Because supervised learning can focus onto one specific thing. It cannot keep an eye watch onto the different, the tasks which are or going on, or the operations which are going on. Then only I mentioned, then only I have mentioned na, that you would be getting an accurate result. Why you're getting accurate? Because you are focusing on to one particular stuff. You are not at all worried about the other things. Your goal is to achieve that specific desired result. That is what you people are doing into the supervised learning. So it is very much easy for us to do the things. It is not that difficult. But when you talk about the unsupervised learning, it is totally different with respect to the supervised. The second type I'm talking about, unsupervised learning. It is totally different. It is just like North and South Pole. Their functionality is totally different. The things they get are totally different. Everything is different. When you talk about the unsupervised learning, at that time, one thing is similar. That is, you would be getting abundant of data, but that data won't be labeled so far. You won't be getting the labeled data. You won't be getting a stable data. You would be getting a data, but that wouldn't be a stable data. It would be just like a raw data that would be fed into your model. Now, it is the model's intelligence that it should make this particular thing very much accurate. Model will try to bifurcate the data. Model will try to filter the data. And on the basis of filtration, the another mechanisms and the procedures would be taking place. So already I mentioned you into my last session, it is a bit difficult with unsupervised learning algorithm to do the functionalities. I have given you few examples also on the basis of it. One example which I gave you, that was like, what you can say, the shopping habit that we people are having. Okay. Then there was a example of recommendation or recommendation type of searches. The biggest example is the Netflix. How it structurize your particular the data into the proper format, and later on it analyze your search, and on the basis of search they try to give you result which is much similar to your searches, so that you don't have to waste your that much time. So this is an appropriate diagram for another appropriate diagram for your unsupervised learning, where what is happening, see, I am getting a lot of raw data. A lot of raw data. See, the data is so jumbled, it is so mixed. We cannot even find out what is what. Right? But with the help of unsupervised algorithm, this algorithm would be provided. This algorithm would be having certain level of instructions, some sort of procedures inside it, some sort of rules, some sort of conditions. Okay, and after applying all those conditions, those methods, those instructions, I will filter this raw data into an appropriate data. So this is the output, dear student. This is the output which I am able to get, and you can find out, see how my data is bifurcated into the proper formatization. There is no mixed up, there is no there is no not at all a kind of jumbled up, and every particular data is labeled. The unlabeled data, the raw data is being converted into an appropriate data with the label. So here the user is getting a very good accuracy, a very good consistency when you talk about the unsupervised. The very important aspect about the unsupervised is what? Here you get a lot of learning. The model is very much fine. The model is very much multitasking also. It is never ever focusing on to one particular stuff only, because your algorithm, this unsupervised algorithm, is focusing on to what? Onto the experiences, onto onto his or her own intelligence basically. And here a lot of knowledge is being implemented, a lot of knowledge is being also generated, not only implemented but it is generated also. So this is quite difficult, but it is something very much innovative, very much different. So let me move on to the next part. It is it is about taking suitable action to maximize the rewards. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah. Yeah. So I was talking about the next type of, like, the algorithm that we have to think about it. It is reinforcement algorithm of machine learning. Now, what exactly it is? Reinforcement, अगर machine learning algorithm की हम बात करते हैं तो क्या होता है? Reinforcement, what it means, what we are just focusing on to one particular stuff, and that is the reward. We want to make certain thing like possible. So whenever we talk about the reinforcement, so reinforcement is actually implemented where we talk about the reward. Reward means what? Certain kind of, like, appropriate achievement with respect to that circumstances, with respect to that situation. So whenever we talk about the reinforcement algorithm, we apply this in order to maximize the reward. So dear students, see, we are able to achieve the rewards into supervised and unsupervised also, but when we want to maximize it, when we want to make it ultimate, at that time we have to use it reinforcement. So what this reinforcement exactly do? How it take place? It takes place, it, like, find the best possible behavior or a suitable part and an appropriate part so that we can take maximum rewards. We can generate maximum positive points. The maximum outcome, consistent outcome, accurate outcome should be there. So, when you talk about the reinforcement learning, it is very much different from the supervised learning. How it is different? Let me tell you that also. That already I told you, like, when you talk about the supervised learning, at that time you are having abundant of data, and along with abundant of data, you are having the labeled data, that is the answer key basically. You are having the supreme trained data basically, and you're using that supreme trained data for your, like, different type of operations. So obviously it would be making a, like, current judgments and all. Whereas when you talk about the reinforcement algorithm, there you're not having any kind of, like, answer in your hand. By default you're not having anything, you have to generate them. And how you have to generate? You have to do a lot of hard work. Here, what we people are doing, we people are thinking about the agents. So there is no answer, but the reinforcement agent decide what to do to perform the given task. Means agent, here we people are talking about agents. Agents play a very important role into the reinforcement. Agents has been arrived into the reinforcement machine learning algorithm. Agent will tell us what you need to do. Agent will decide what you need to do, what you need to perform so that you can accomplish the task. You can take a reward. You can maximize the reward for that particular appropriate task. Next, let us do, we have an agent and a reward. Basically, in reinforcement, what happened? Let me just explain you with some sort of bit more information. In reinforcement, there are two things that we have to keep in our mind. One is the agent and second one is the reward. Agent will tell you what to do, how to do, and reward is what? Reward is, like, your kind of, like, award you can see. It is your achievement that you are accomplishing. But this agent and reward would be having some sort of hurdles also. Hurdles means what? Obstacles. It is not at all possible to just generate the desired output, dear student. You have to do a lot of things. You have to manage out the problems which are coming in path of, like, achieving the reward. So agent is, like, agent is a person. It is like a very important personality into reinforcement algorithm, where this agent will find out the possible to possible way so that it can reach to that specific reward. It is like, you are just taking the participation in one of the activity, and that activity is very much important for you. So you will try every possible way to just win that particular reward, or to just win that particular prize, or to just win that particular, you can say, activity or any competition, because it is very much important for you, right? So you will be taking up permutation and combination wala part, right? You would be thinking about what are the possible different ways, कौन से डिफरेंट डिफरेंट तरीके हैं जिनसे मैं वो काम accomplish कर सकता हूँ, but in a right manner. The same thing is happening into the reinforcement also. Reinforcement agent would be always talking about how to reach to the appropriate reward. So this is the particular example, or diagrammatical pictorial value. What this pictorial information is telling, it is talking about three things. See, first of all, it is talking about the two important aspect. One is the cylindrical is known as the environment. Environment means what? The situation, the circumstances. Okay, fine. The surrounding area, and this sphere is known as the agent. So what will happen here? You people are getting certain stuffs. This environment is putting a kind of impact onto the agent. Agent is having a lot of impact just because of this environment. So first of all, see, I am having the three different colors. One color is telling you about one color is the red color, second one is the blue color, and the third one is your green color. What this red color is telling, this red color is nothing but it will tell you the state of this environment, the state of this current situation, the current circumstances. Agent will get to know everything about the environment. Okay, on the basis of the environment state, the agent would be performing some sort of action. Some sort of action would be performed, and on the basis of the action, the reward would be given. Environment would be providing the reward. Respond, you can say respond itself. So this is the diagrammatical information which is telling you something about it. Right? The first thing is what? First thing is agent first of all see what is the environment. I am explaining it again. Agent will first find out what is this environment. Environment will send the current status. Okay, and after getting the current status of this environment, I will do certain course of action. मेरे कुछ actions होंगे, कुछ actions reactions होंगे, और उन action reactions की वजह से I would be getting certain reward. My environment would be giving me or environment would be feeding me certain kind of reward. So agent and environment plays a very important role into reinforcement. Just because of this agent and appropriate environment, we people are receiving the reward so far. Let me move to the next part. This is the example, dear student. Imagine this is an example. This is a kind of game. Now, what is happening inside this game? I am having a robot. Okay, I am having a fire area, and I am having a diamond. Now, what is the goal of this robot, dear student? What is the goal of this robot? The goal of this robot is to achieve this diamond basically. This is the ultimate goal of this robot, to achieve this diamond. Now what happened? This robot would be finding out the environment, the external environment. This robot cannot move over here because this environment is giving a kind of a state that here it is having a kind of fire. So robot cannot go over here. अगर रोबोट यहाँ जाता है तो फायर की वजह से वो बर्न हो जाएगा and there won't be any possibility to get the diamond. Okay, so the next possible way robot will try to make is go up. So once the robot will go up, he will find a way whether to go left or whether to go more up. If robot goes here to here, then again there are two ways. One way is giving me fire and second way is leading to nothing. So what I will do in this case, again the robot will rethink whether we should go up or whether we should go here. The robot will try to move from here to here. Okay, later on it will see whether to move up or whether to move on to the right hand side. Which side I need to move? Left, right, up, down, where? I cannot move up because it is having a fire. I cannot move down. It is having fire. I cannot go left also because there is no direction over there. I would be reaching to my same similar place where I was. So where I should go? I should go to the right hand side. So step by step the decisions would be made. So once the robot come on to this particular position, then again there is a decision whether to go up, whether to go right, whether to go left, whether to go down. I cannot go up because there is no diamond. There is no possible. Diamond is here. I cannot go to right because there is a fire. I cannot go to left because if I go left, then again I would be moving to my previous position. So I should move to the downward. Once the robot moved to the downward, again there is a decision whether to move right or whether to move left. If I move to left, then it is fire, and if I move to the right, then it is a diamond. So in this manner, the possible directions are being made. But this is very quick. This is very much quick steps that are being taken up by these robots and all. Right? Fine. Now, let me move on to the next part. I hope this example is very much clear. This is the intelligence part that is being used by this agent. The robot is acting as an agent. This is all environment, and this is the reward basically. So when you were studying about this particular this diagrammatic or this pictorial information is depicting this example. Now let me move to the next part. Where we find this reinforcement basically? Where we find? So point number 1 is the video game. Video game. We find reinforcement technique majority in the video game. One of the most common place where we can go for this learning algorithm. Why? Because in video games we have to do a lot of possibilities. We have to find out a lot of possibilities. You must have you must know about the ancient very old games. Like there was a person, okay, he used to climb the ladders and other stuff. There was a lot of stuff. Here we are having the monster, here we are having the kind of fire, and here we are having the ladder. There were the three possibilities where to move, where we have to move upward, right, left, like that. So that person was acting as what? That person was acting as a kind of agent. So video games are the most important the example for your reinforcement, because in video games we have to consider a lot of possibilities. There is not at all a one possible way, dear student. There are a lot of possible ways in which manner we have to move. Next is industrial simulation. Now what is this industrial simulation? So for about most of the robotic application, it is very useful to have our machine learning to complete their task without having to hardcode their process. That means what? First of all, we should know what is the meaning of simulation. Simulation means the possibilities basically. So what this particular point is telling, that we are having the robotic applications. Now what is the purpose of this robotic application? That we don't have to feed any hardcore values inside it. हमें कोई भी हार्डकोर प्रोसेसेस उनके अंदर फीड करने की जरूरत नहीं है. अल्टीमेटली कैसा होगा कि जो रोबोट एप्लीकेशंस होते हैं उनके अंदर हम एक फीचर डालते हैं, दैट इज लर्निंग एबिलिटी विद द हेल्प ऑफ मशीन लर्निंग. और उस लर्निंग एबिलिटी के बेसिस पे वो अपने काम करते हैं. उसके लिए हमको हार्डकोर उसमें कुछ प्रोग्राम करने की जरूरत नहीं है. अगर हम उसमें भी हार्डकोर प्रोग्राम करेंगे, then what is the difference between the technology or the applications that we people are using currently and the AI or the machine learning? There won't be any difference, right? So why to implement this new technologies, right? There won't be no importance of it, no point of using all those stuffs. But if we implement these type of things, like not to hardcore anything, use the learning ability, so this will make cheaper also, and this could be a safer option also, because there will be less error prone areas. We would be rectifying less and lesser number of errors basically. So it is like, it can even be less prone to the failures. Yes, obviously, as I already mentioned you, okay, there would be lesser number of errors. So obviously there would be less number of chances of the failure of any application which is using this machine learning and using these algorithms so far. Okay. So this could be a very great achievement, right? Less money we have to spend. It could be a cheaper level only. Once it become used to, it would be costing less and less part of money. Later on, the important thing is since it is a machine, so we can make one thing for sure: less electricity should be utilized. If we are utilizing lesser number of electricity, obviously we are saving a lot of amount. So you can imagine how much things you have simulated so far. Just because you are using the robotic applications. Right? Because robots will be also thinking in the same manner how we people think, right? We are doing a lot of cost cutting. We are just saving a lot of money. We try to just perform the functionalities on the basis of savings and all. The same thing we can do. Same manner we can proceed with the help of robotic applications also. Next important is resource management, very important part. Resource management is the most important part, dear students. See, we people are having a lot of resources, but how to utilize the resource, when to utilize the resource, and how much amount of resource should be utilized. This is you must have read about the operating system, right? There what you are thinking about the resources inside your system, right? You always think about the CPU. CPU's time should not be wasted. Two important aspects are there. We should not waste the CPU time and we should not waste the CPU also. CPU is very much precious. The same thing is happening over here also, that is the resource management. So here, what happening exactly when you talk about the resource management in reinforcement learning, it is good about we are just finding out the complex environment basically. We are just finding out what type of this environment is and how we have to utilize the resources so far. Fine, so we have to do a kind of maintenance basically. There is a balancing which is going on. It can handle the need of the balance certain requirements. How much requirement need is there, and on the basis of the requirement we have to manage out the resources so far. Let's take an example, that is Google data center. Very best example, Google data center. Data is very important. Nowadays, if you think about the data is the most precious, valuable thing basically. So it is a kind of resource that we are managing, we are using it, we are utilizing it. So when you talk about the Google data center, so they are using the reinforcement learning algorithm over there, so that we can satisfy the requirements, the needness of this particular data, when to utilize, where to utilize, and how much to utilize. Because again and again we cannot generate the data, right? We have to generate the data once only. It would be you have started the generation of data, you are just feeding more and more data, but you are not regenerating the things. You will be saving your data. Your past data would be also saved, your current data would be also saved. So you're not destroying, you're not doing like that, data center से कुछ data लिया उसको destroy कर दिया फिर से वो generate होगा, ऐसा नहीं होता है. Data is taken, data is being used, and again the data is sent back to its original place. That is the data center. This will do a lot of cost cutting would be there. We don't have to regenerate the things, because regenerating the things leading to what, more and more money spending that could take place. So this is not at all a feasible solution so far. So this is how, dear student, reinforcement machine learning algorithm would be taking place. So till today, like in these two sessions, we have gone through the three different type of algorithms. There are a lot of algorithms, but these three learning algorithms are very much important and they play a very powerful role into your machine learning with respect to your artificial intelligence application. With the help of these three algorithms, with into the different fields, we are leading the technology, we are leading to this real world. And it is these algorithms are helping a lot means you cannot imagine also. Now they are so powerful, you can imagine how they will be powerful into the later on stages. So you can imagine these algorithms are not used onto small applications. They are used by the big MNCs. Google is using, Netflix is using, right? YouTube is using. So you can imagine if these big organizations are using. So obviously these technologies are very much important. They are sharpening the edges of your techno savvy world basically. They are sharpening the edges of the world. They're sharpening the so-called as this digitization basically. They're making this particular old world to come into one frame of the technology. So I hope, dear student, this particular session is very much it has become a benefited session to you people. It would have provided you some sort of knowledge about what this reinforcement algorithm of machine learning is, and what about the, others machine learning algorithms too. And you would have learned a lot about how they are being implemented into the current world top MNCs, how they are mapping with our day-to-day requirements and other stuffs. So thank you so very much, students. Let me see you into the next session of our artificial intelligence course. Stay safe. Thank you so very much.